Hello everyone, how's it going today? In this video, I want to talk about one of the latest exciting SPACs called Monentus, ticker symbol SRAC. I'm going to go over what they do and give you my opinion on them, and then I'm going to get into some of the current charts. Now, before I get into it, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has already subscribed to my channel and for hitting the like button on previous videos. I really appreciate you doing that. If you're new to the channel, I like to find short-term and long-term trading and investing opportunities in typically lower-priced stocks. I like to find undervalued, underappreciated stocks with high growth potential and talk about all other things finance-related as well. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future trading and investing ideas. And also, I am not a financial advisor, so please do all of your own research before buying any of these stocks. Now again, the name of this company is Monentus, and they are a space transportation company that is in the final talks to go public through an acquisition by Stable Road Capital, which would value the company near $1 billion. Monentus offers a last-mile delivery service for spacecraft, with a transfer vehicle that helps deliver satellites from a rocket to a specific orbit. Now, if you're not familiar with what a SPAC is, first off, where have you been? Because these things have been all the rage, but I'll explain it real quick. A SPAC is a special purpose acquisition company. It's basically a blank check shell corporation designed to take companies public without going through the traditional IPO process. SPACs allow retail investors to invest in private equity type transactions, particularly leveraged buyouts. So basically, a SPAC is a large sum of investor money looking to strike a deal and bring a private company public. SPAC offerings are mostly sold in $10 units of one common share, so theoretically your downside is limited to around $10 a share, but I wouldn't count on that for concrete support, so always remember that. Now, a SPAC makes it easier for companies to go public, so you have that added risk when buying a SPAC, so you should be very choosy when you pick one to hold for the long term and take a deeper dive than normal when evaluating it to buy and hold. Right now, we are currently in a little bit of a SPAC frenzy, so I've been buying a few hoping to capitalize on the craze in the short term. This is my trading objective with these, and I'm not saying this should be yours, and I'm also not saying any of these companies don't offer a great long-term potential. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Monentus is a Santa Clara, California-based company and so far have struck a $40 million deal worth of customer contracts this year and announced on Thursday its latest deal with Dutch small satellite specialist ISI Launch. It's the 8th such deal Monentus has unveiled in 2020, with the company providing its orbit transfer services for ISI Launch on a SpaceX Falcon 9 launch in December. The core of Monentus' business is Vigoride, a simple vehicle that consists of a frame, an engine, solar panels, avionics, and a set of satellite deployers. The company calls it a transfer vehicle, akin to a delivery truck that would bring a package to its final destination after a large cargo aircraft delivered it to the airport. The Monentus transfer vehicle is especially important for satellites that hitch a ride on large rockets, an increasingly popular industry practice called ride-sharing. Additionally, the company touts its transfer vehicles as adaptable to essentially any rocket available on the market. The Monentus service essentially shuttles spacecraft from a rocket to each spacecraft's intended final orbit, in what their CEO Mikhail Korkut says in an extremely cost-efficient manner. He also said, Vigoride is especially designed to use big rockets and distribute satellites in low Earth orbit. From a single launch, we can drop into multiple orbits and just change altitude or change inclination, dropping you in several spots, basically increasing the flexibility of a big rocket launch dramatically. Here's a short video explaining on how it works. The company launched its first demonstration mission last year, which proved that the key part of this transfer vehicle, the water plasma engines, work. And it has the first mission for Vigoride lined up this year, currently slated for launch on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket in December. Monentus pointed to a market analysis by consulting firm Northern Sky Research, which issued a report in November of 2019 that gave a very bullish forecast on the market for small satellites. The number of satellites launched each year has steadily grown. The report found from 70 satellites in 2010 to 493 satellites in 2019, and Northern Sky expects that number to reach over 1,000 a year by 2030. Likewise, the report found that Monentus' initial target market, small satellites launched to low Earth orbit, is one of the most common destinations and would grow from less than 250 million in 2018 to about 750 million in 2020 and nearly 1.5 billion by 2024. That's why Kolkerich plans for Vigoride to be just the first of an increasingly more capable fleet of transfer vehicles that Monentus offers. Kolkerich says, in the big picture, we would like to build the infrastructure for the industrialization beyond Earth in space. The first step is developing a last-mile delivery in space transportation. Monentus is therefore focused on those ride-share customers who want a cheap way to get to orbit but need a boost to get to the precise destination. Now, from their website, they say, every one of our services will make missions possible that otherwise would have never been. Last-mile satellite and cargo delivery will combine with ride-share launch to make any precise destination orbit affordable. Our hosted payload service will take years of development off your mission timeline, and our in-orbit services will bring late mission relief to low Earth orbit when you need it most. Their website also said, we anticipate that next-generation Monentus reusable vehicles equipped with robotic arms will be capable of performing proximity maneuvers, docking and refueling, and will be well-suited for an entire range of in-orbit services. We expect that extending the lives of larger spacecraft, relocating or deorbiting satellites, conducting salvage missions, robotic repairs, or in-orbit assembly will be all in a day's work for our service fleet. They say Vigoride has been designed to be capable of launching on most large, mid-sized, and small rockets thanks to its compatibility with many modern launch interfaces such as ESPA Grande. Once in orbit carrying your satellite or cargo, we believe Vigoride will be able to change orbital planes, adjust inclination, and deliver to altitudes up to 2,000 kilometers. Or if you prefer, Vigoride will be able to stay with your payload, providing more than 1 kilowatt of power, communication, altitude control, and orbit maintenance for the duration of your mission. Our next generation reusable Vigoride will be designed to be refueled in orbit, enabling multiple cargo missions between orbits and a suite of in-orbit services such as docking, refueling, satellite repositioning, life extension, deorbiting, repairing, and inspection. And Vigoride has a payload mass of 200 to 750 kilograms. Their next product, othe, which is currently under development, will be a revolutionary reusable vehicle capable of delivering small and medium-sized satellites to any custom orbit, such as medium Earth orbit, geosynchronous orbit, highly elliptical orbit, or even moon orbit. othe will also be able to host a payload, provide power up to 10 kilowatts, or perform a wide range of in-orbit services anywhere in CIS lunar space. The expandable version of othe will serve as a deep space exploration platform and has a payload mass of 500 to 4,000 kilograms. Their last product, Fervoride, their ultimate transport and service vehicle under development, is being designed to move dozens of tons of cargo anywhere in outer space. From changing inclination in low orbit to transferring up to geosynchronous orbit to entering moon orbit and performing deep space missions, we believe Fervoride will be able to handle it. Designed to augment the capabilities of gigantic rockets like Starship from SpaceX or New Glenn from Blue Origin, we believe Fervoride will be, from the beginning, a reusable vehicle that will unlock new business opportunities in space. And it has a payload mass of 4,000 kilograms to 20,000 kilograms. Now, they use microwave electrothermal propulsion propelled by water, and they believe that it's number one, efficient, With a considerably higher specific impulse than chemical propulsion, we expect 3 times less propellant will be needed to deliver satellites and cargo to their orbits. They believe, number 2, that it's fast. We believe our vehicles driven by our water plasma propulsion technology will complete trips faster by having more thrust per unit of electrical power supplied than systems using ion drives or other types of conventional electrical propulsion. Number 3, they believe it's low cost. Due to the simplicity of our propulsion systems, water tank, and feed systems, Monentus vehicles will be extremely inexpensive to manufacture. We expect to be able to pass those savings on to our customers. Number 4, they expect it to be sustainable. Water is abundant in space. It exists on the nearest celestial bodies to us, specifically the Moon, Mars, and many near-Earth asteroids. We envision in the future being able to use water extracted from these locations to propel our vehicles and payloads we carry. And finally, they believe their propulsion system is going to be safer. Unlike the fuel for ion engines and chemical propellants, which are either cryogenic or toxic and highly pressurized, water can be stored safely in low-pressure tanks and poses no risk of combustion or explosion. We believe this will make our vehicles that use water plasma propulsion easy to launch and operate in space. Now, by 2025, they hope to have completed the first part of their vision, which is manufacturing and assembly. They say, we aim to be able to provide a full range of infrastructure services in microgravity and deep vacuum, which will open the door to infinite manufacturing possibilities. Impossibly large next-generation infrastructures will continue to pave new paths for even greater human development in space. Now, by 2030, they hope to complete the second part of their vision, the data processing and space solar. Energy generated by space solar power stations in low Earth orbit will power gigantic space-based data processing centers. Inevitably, massive amounts of energy produced in geosynchronous orbit could be beamed safely to Earth using microwaves and giant rectennas in Earth's deserts. The final part of their mission takes us to 2035, and it's called asteroid and moon mining. The abundance of water in asteroids, on the Moon, and Mars, and the ease of extraction and storage secure water as the first viable extraterrestrial mined resource. Iron and nickel exist in abundance in space and make great construction materials as well as radiation shielding for permanent human habitats. Precious and rare metals with enormously large concentration in some types of asteroids will equally contribute to the industries of the future. All right, so here is the daily chart of SRAC. Right now, it is currently trading at $10.48. This chart is intraday, so that will probably change for the end of the day. But as far as the charts go, with these SPACs, early on, there isn't really a lot of information you can extract from these charts. There's some resistance in the upper 10s, but that's pretty much a non-factor as far as I can see. It could easily blast through that, no problem. I wouldn't even really consider that resistance. But if you wanted to get in on this company, theoretically, you can't get in a whole lot cheaper than $10.48 because they're supposed to have a floor around $10. You know, I wouldn't count on that, but that's what they say. As for me, I am going to be waiting. I think this company is super exciting, and I am definitely keeping them on my watch list. If you're not buying this stock, I recommend that you keep this on your watch list because I'm going to be checking in on this company at least once a month to see how things are going. If there is enough growth, if there is as much growth as this company is saying that there is in front of them, there's really no need to rush this trade. We can wait another year or 2 or 3 and wait for, the market to tip its hand a little bit to us to show us that this company is going to be a winner. And if they are growing as much as they say they are, waiting a couple of years, honestly, there's going to be plenty of juice left in this orange if they are going to grow as fast as they say they are going to in the next 10 to 15 years. If you waited to get into Amazon, in 2015, you've still made, 6 times your money. So there's no need to ever rush these companies that are growing into these huge industries. But Monentus has potentially a ton of growth ahead of it. So, if you want to take a shot right now, and if it does pan out, obviously you are going to have a massive winner on your hands. But as for me, there is no need to rush these trades. But this company is definitely one of the more exciting SPAC companies out there and worth keeping on your watch list. And that's definitely what I am going to do. All right, well, let's head over to the other charts. Let's first start off with everybody's favorite, Nano Dimensions. As we can see, it is holding above the 8-period exponential moving average, which is a very bullish sign. I would like to see it get a little bit higher and then start to move sideways a little bit so we can get another J-hook pattern up, another blast up. But right now, there's nothing to be concerned about. These things are going to consolidate for a little bit sometimes after they move up, pull back, and what you want is a consolidation at a higher level that's totally healthy in an uptrend. But if I adjust the moving averages, we can see that it is following, it looks like it's following the 13-period exponential moving average. It found support at it a couple days ago, and it is holding above it. And a lot of times I do adjust these moving averages a little bit. And the reason why, I don't know if I ever mentioned it in a chart, that I like the 8-period exponential moving averages. Well, number one, stocks tend to bounce off of it a lot, but it is one of the Fibonacci numbers, and so is the number 13. The moving averages that I follow the most that are exponential. I always use the 50 period and the 200 period in the as simple moving averages, because that is the ones that everybody tends to use. But the other two moving averages that I don't usually have on my chart, but I do check them quite a bit. I just don't want I don't want too many moving averages on the chart that I am flipping through. I don't want just don't want it to be too messy. But anyway, I use the 13-period moving average and the 34-period moving average as well, just because those are numbers in the Fibonacci sequence, and they tend to get bounced off of a lot, like Nano Dimensions is doing right now. So actually, with Nano Dimensions, I would be very tempted to remove the 8-period exponential moving average off the chart and watch this 13-period exponential moving average a little bit more, because even though I do find the 8-period moving average to be very valuable, what is more valuable on your current chart is what the stock is obeying at the moment. So as of right now, it looks like it is obeying the 13. That could be a coincidence. If it comes down and touches that 13-period exponential moving average again, does another touch and maybe another touch and holds it, then it would now be obeying the 13-period exponential moving average. And that is one you want to put on your chart. And if you're trading in the short term, that is the one where you would want to base your trading decisions on, or at least that's what I would like to do, because I follow the moving averages so closely. But I did want to show you that it looks like it is potentially following the 13-day exponential moving average. And when you play around with these moving averages on your chart a little bit, especially ones that a lot of people aren't following as much, that can give you an informational advantage. So it's never hurts to adjust the moving averages a little bit on your charts, because companies change their personality all the time as far as the chart moves. Sometimes they're following the 8-period exponential moving average, and then you'll notice, if you follow moving averages a lot, that they'll go into a period, say, where they're following the 10-period simple moving average. You know, if you move these averages around on your chart, you can see which ones that company's chart is following at the moment. And the most current information, of course, is going to be the most powerful for you. But I am going to put this back to the 8-period moving average. Check in on the weekly. It shouldn't be any difference because we're still in the same week. But as we can see, we are still quite a bit above that 8-period exponential moving average on the weekly chart, which it is following. It is following the 8-period exponential moving average on the weekly chart. So there's no need to worry about the current price on the weekly at the moment. But going back to the daily, still looks very bullish as far as I'm concerned. But let's go over and check out ADMP. Did a video about this one a few days ago, and there is no buy signal for me yet. I'm looking for a bullish move out of this consolidation before I want to enter this stock. I want to see it pop above that 8-period exponential moving average and hold it and ride it up if possible. And but as far as right now, it is still sitting in neutral. So as far as ADMP goes, Adamas Pharmaceuticals, nothing to do yet. Yesterday, I didn't put out a video because most of the day the power was out where I live. So I started this Monentus video, the power went out, and I was done. So I'm finishing that video today and doing the recording of the charts today. But and why I'm bringing that up is because I was going to get into Vivo Power yesterday, but the power went out, and yesterday it just blew right through that 50-day simple moving average. But today it is moving higher, and I actually considered getting in first thing this morning, and it's looking like I should have. But oh well, I guess I will be still thinking about this chart. And actually, if I go on the 15-minute, I was drawing some channels. Let me see if I can move in. Actually, it is more on the minute chart. But we can see we have started a nice channel to the upside. And when I saw it moving up earlier, it hadn't gotten up into the H yet, and I was kind of hoping for a pullback and then to come down to this support area, and I was considering entering on that pullback, but it looks like it is taking off without me. Oh well, I guess that's how it goes sometimes, and I will wait for the next chart, next opportunity. But man, if the power wouldn't have gone out, I probably would have got in on this one yesterday, right around the 50-day moving average, probably around 775 or something like that. So I would be up a little bit, but sometimes that is a gift, because I had a gift where I was strongly considering getting in first thing this morning, and I would have got in around $7 and probably 15 cents or so. And I would have been up very nice on this one. And when these stocks come down to these moving averages, it doesn't bother me that much when they blast through them, as long as they get right back above them the next day or the day after that at the absolute latest. It does not mean it's a false move when it goes through it, unless it goes through it and continues to stay below it. But a blast through it and then a pop right back above it is absolutely normal. It doesn't have to stop on a dime at that moving average, especially when stocks are coming down pretty fast. You know, you can't expect there to be a million orders to buy it right at that moving average. But when you get a move down like this, momentum to the downside is going to slow down eventually. And I think that there is a great chance for momentum to slow down once you have people waiting at a major moving average looking to buy in, because chances are selling is going to be running out, and you want to jump on board that other side. But if you got in on this yesterday, and if you got in below that 50-period simple moving average, the reversal looks pretty good so far. I think that I would consider, if I was in the stock right now, I would consider getting out probably around that 8-period exponential moving average, or at least taking some of my profit on the table. I don't want to be sitting on this in this company for too long, so I'd probably take at least a portion of my trade off. But let's go to the one that I am in, which was Brainstorm Cell Therapeutics. Oh, and it is pulling back a little bit. I saw it was higher earlier, so let's go check this sucker out. When I looked at it earlier, it was trading just under 11, so it has been selling off. Yeah, it is starting to round down, so that is not the best sign in the world, but still up on it and is still holding that 200-day simple moving average. I would like to get out in the 1150 range if I could. I'm going to be taking some off if it bounces up to this 8-period exponential moving average. The 8-period exponential moving average is falling fast, so it's going to meet up with price here pretty soon, most likely. So if it doesn't get up to this level, I am definitely going to be closing my position. If this 8-period exponential moving average comes down below here and touches it, I'm out. I'm playing this stock strictly on a short-term swing trade, and sometimes you get a lot out of them, sometimes you don't. But that is what I am doing with BCLI. Another one I want to touch base on that I've talked about in a couple other videos is MTC. MTC is looking like it's probably going to be coming off my watch list because there is nothing doing. I like to see once it pops up and starts to pull back to that 8-period exponential moving average, I like to see a move up rather quick. We are not getting it. So no harm, no foul on MTC. That just comes off the watch list. But another one that I am watching that I wanted to show you guys is Westwater. We can see this one is coming down fast, just like BCLI was, but it is getting very close to that 50-day simple moving average. I was kind of hoping it was going to get into it maybe today or tomorrow, which it still could, but it looks like momentum to the downside is waning, and the 50-period simple moving average, there was a little bit of support back in 2019 back in this area, but I wouldn't call that super concrete. But if it does come down here to this 50-day simple moving average, I'm probably going to be taking a swing trade on this one, trying to catch a pop, hopefully back up to these moving averages in the next couple of days or so. But if that gets triggered, that remains to be seen. And another chart that is coming down rather quickly is a YouTube favorite, Hyliion. There we go. As we can see, this one is coming down very quickly to the 200-day simple moving average, and there is also some support from earlier this year in that range of right around just under $20. Right at the moment is sitting at $22.58. So, but it has fallen all the way down from the 50s. So this one is certainly due for a bounce, at least in the short term. And it wouldn't surprise me one bit if that bounce occurs right around the $20 area, maybe just a little bit below. I would like to get in a little bit below if I could. But this one is probably going to, I would say it's probably going to move fast in this area. So I am going to have to be nimble if I want to catch this one. Okay, well, I think I have dragged this on long enough, so I'm going to end the video right there. Thank you once again for putting up with my scratchy voice. Maybe one day I will get over this cold. Who knows? But if you have any questions on any of those charts that I put up, make sure you leave that in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer any that I can. Or if you have any information on Monentus, please leave that down there. I would love to hear more about this company. I think they're pretty fascinating. But please like this video for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so you don't miss any future trading and investing ideas. But there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, take care, everybody.